All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking real music in real time for, I don't know, like two real people out there, maybe three, maybe four. Those people, by the way, are just like you, just like me. Thanks for watching. Before I get going on this video, here they are, Killer Kings, ladies and gentlemen, Killer Kings, courtesy of Frontiers Music. This is their album called Burn for Love. I love the artwork and the CD looking pretty good as well. More importantly, it's traditional, classic, melodic rock in the same vein as stuff like Whitesnake, Foreigner, Survivor, Journey, and Queen. Some of the guitar work is very Queen-like. So check out Killer Kings, Killer Kings, Burn for Love. Let's talk about Alanis Morissette. She's not burning for love like she did in the 1990s on that wonderful song, You Ought to Know. You know, that family-friendly, driving down the road, got the kid in your car, riding, in the car seat, and you got to hear this line about the movie theater. And everything was going so great before that because you were, kind of bopping along to Borderline by Madonna, and then You Ought to Know comes on. And then you're like, holy crap, did she just say that? And she did. And yeah, there were a lot of guys that I remember had said to me, Alanis Morissette, I'd like to go on a date with her. I'm like, okay, good luck with that. Hope you survive the date. Angry and upset about life. And you can hear it in her voice. I never liked Alanis Morissette. The attitude was just too much for me. Well, forget about the movie theater. I'm skipping going to a movie with Alanis Morissette. Now, what's interesting is Alanis was supposed to perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she just kind of like backed out of it. Why would Alanis Morissette, who is trying to empower the female species, she's trying to do something good for humanity, she's trying to make sure that women are honored as much as the men are. And in recent years, it's no secret that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or partial Hall of Fame, because they don't put people in there that deserve to go in, so it's the part-time Hall of Fame, it's the of Fame. Anyway, they've been putting in a lot of women lately. They've been honoring a lot of women. You had Stevie Nicks get in there, and her solo career was, it's all right. But hey, we're going to put her in. And this year we had Carly Simon, Dolly Parton, Pat Benatar. You've had nominees like Kate Bush. Janet Jackson went in there, another rock and roll icon, along with Dolly Parton. Both Dolly Parton and Janet Jackson. When I think of rock and roll, I think of both of those people. So maybe Alanis should be in there, right? Is she in there? I don't know. I hope she's not in there. She could be in there. See, look, if she's in there, that would make sense because her politics pretty much line up perfectly with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But I am going to talk about a bit of a contradiction here. So Alanis Morissette, who I can almost guarantee must be for mandatory vaccinations, must be for lockdowns, must be for putting face diapers on kids' faces, is complaining to the world about what she calls psychological violence. Think of what this world has been through the past almost 3 years now. Now, obviously, some of that is starting to subside, but I didn't hear her complaining about psychological violence, which I think was probably a more real thing for a 6-year-old trying to go to school back in 2021 or late in the year 2020, depending on where you lived in America or in other parts of the world. I think that would qualify for psychological violence. Anyway, I want to thank my buddy Ben, who's a patron, who sent me this link. And I woke up early this morning because I still had a red wave hangover. The red trickle. I told you so. You can go back and watch my video. Those were selections. They weren't elections. Anyway, there's a little red trickle running through a couple of places, and then they're going to count ballots for another, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, and then maybe they'll come to a conclusion, and by then everybody will be over it, right? So anyway, this is the story of what happened with Alanis Morissette. She's going to tell you via Twitter as to why she decided to not honor Dolly Parton and not honor Carly Simon. She was supposed to sing and she didn't perform. So this is why. She says here, I spent decades in an industry that is rife with an overarching anti-woman sentiment. Keep in mind, gonna sort of cut her off here and say, this is an institution, the Hall of Fame, that is doing female affirmative action right now, this year, and pretty much every year. They're going to continue to do female affirmative action. They are on your side, Alanis Morissette. They're right there with you. So this is kind of crazy talk here from Alanis. Anyway, it's an industry that is rife with an overarching anti-woman sentiment, and I have tolerated a lot of condescension and disrespectfulness, reduction, that's interesting, dismissiveness, contract breaching, unsupportiveness, exploitation, and the big one, psychological violence. Oh, and in parentheses, she has and more. I wonder what the and more is. Throughout my career, so she stopped the sentence there. Sorry. I tolerated it because nothing would stop me from connecting with those whom I cared about and resonated with. Nothing except appearing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because if nothing would have stopped you, then why didn't you perform? She goes on again. I live to serve and connect with people, and so over the years, I sucked it up, and on more occasions than I can count, in order to do so. So she's been sucking it up a long time, which again goes right along with that lyric in the movie theater, and you ought to know. So that's how. I'm sorry, people. The country is screwed. Anyway, it's hard not to be affected in any industry around the world, but Hollywood has been notorious for its disrespect of the feminine in all of us. Oh my. All right, so now Hollywood, we went from the music industry, now we're talking about Hollywood. And if you have some feminine in you, hey men, if you got some feminine going on, Hollywood, they don't like you. So, you know, if say you use like a really nice lotion on your hands or something, and maybe you have some crow's feet you're trying to get rid of, like me, you know, that maybe that's something that is a bit more feminine. I think she's probably, you know, going a little bit further than my goofy lotion analogy, but you kind of get the point, right? She's really upset. She was really upset in the 90s. The music was upsetting to listen to. And she seemed angry. And apparently she's still angry. So again, I figured I'd just put this out there. It's not surprising that a 90s artist who was so self-absorbed, so whiny, and vocally was probably one of the worst female singers I had ever heard. I mean, I grew up listening to all these people that got honored at the Hall of Fame. Again, Carly Simon, Pat Benatar, Janet Jackson. Those are great female vocalists. Alanis Morissette is not in that particular company of singers. And her songwriting, you may think it's great. I don't have any use for it. I never liked it. I was an early adopter when it came to not liking the grunge stuff of the 90s and this alternative, angry, whiny pop music that was going alongside and being played on adult contemporary radio stations. You know, again, cruising down the road, listening to Borderline by Madonna, and then here comes You Ought to Know, and you know, the kids in the back seat, they're going to be treated to the whole movie theater analogy, and it's going to be great. And try explaining that to your kid, right? And I think there was one or two really explicit words in that song too that I think they either bleeped or dropped. It kind of drops out when she's about to say what she's going to do. Look, again, am I a prude? Sure, I'm a prude. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to listen to it. Hence the Alabama t-shirt, right? Jeff Cook, what a sad thing. What a great guitar player. No longer here. And that's the kind of music that I would rather listen to than this absolute, I don't know how to describe it. It's noise to me. It's whiny. And after like a couple of verses, I'm like, you know, let's change the station. I'm using a clicker. That doesn't make sense, but okay, let's change the station. So anyway, I don't understand if she's so devoted to her fans and to the cause that she has, I hate to use this phrase again, sucked it up in the past. Why not suck it up for the likes of, you know, Dolly Parton and Carly Simon and Pat Benatar? Because without them, I don't think you'd have a career. So I think you need to pick your battles there, Alanis. And so much for the Hall of Fame, who's been trying. Hey, they've been trying. That's what Dolly said. No, I don't want to be in the Hall of Fame. And they said, we insist. You are coming to the Hall of Fame. You are not a rock star, but we're bringing you in because we need more women. So maybe that's the condescension part that Alanis was talking about. It's a little bit condescending to tell someone they're a rock star, but Dolly is recording a rock album, and Steve Perry is going to be on that rock album. I'm hoping that Dolly Parton can get like Mick Jagger and Steven Tyler. That would be really totally rock and roll. Maybe Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, right? Because if anybody can get Led Zeppelin back together again, it's probably Dolly Parton. So yeah, that's my video. Alanis Morissette, she's awesome. She's just got this amazing positive outlook on life. Oh, Killer Kings, they're pretty killer. Is that politically correct? I don't know. Burn for Love, superb album, kind of under the radar type of thing. A lot of production and songwriting here by my buddy Alessandro Del Vecchio, who is like keeping melodic rock alive, him and like 4 other people. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I need subs. The subs aren't coming anymore. So I can call Subway for subs, but I need you guys. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Patreon to support the work of this channel, which is me. $1 a month, $2 a month. Cheaper than a movie theater ticket, that's for sure. And way cheaper than a date with Alanis Morissette, even though with Alanis, you're going to get something special. So with me, not so much, but you get really, like, this is what you get. So thanks again. Sorry to be incoherent. See you soon.